And good evening. My name is DeCarlo Sweeting, and my co-host for the day is
George Missick.
George. What's going on, man? How's everybody?
Everyone's lovely. Everyone's getting ready for Easter and the Easter Bunny and Chris. What? Yeah, kids got about to get off from school, so
Yeah,
starting to feel a little festive.
you think so? I I
Yeah,
I don't I don't want to go away, but me and you was just talking about how you see how TSA in the states can on
yeah,
fuel prices going up, so the airline prices going up. I know
yeah.
that's a lot to
yeah.
pay.
What do people say? If you don't have to go nowhere right now, don't go.
Oh Lord. You know us Bahamians, man. We get one break off, couple holidays off. We gotta go. You can't let the two holidays what on a
Double
Friday and a
holiday? No.
Monday. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know we
Yeah,
can't let that pass. You know where we letting that pass. We need to
boy,
go. We need to do something.
boy. But you realize nowadays that when you go now to states with, well, especially Florida, if anything happening over there, they look like they just double prices on everything. Like,
Yeah. So
so
it's spring break time. So all the college kids over there, they
spring break,
carrying on.
Easter,
So to get one car, to get one hotel, everything
yeah,
going up. So boy.
yeah, yeah. If you have it, you prepare to pay a premium, go now. If not, probably wait it out. Yeah. At least let the spring breakers go back.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so let's find out what's going on in the news.
On policy promises, with housing taking center stage.
We are absolutely confident that in 5 years working with the private sector that we can build at least 5,000 homes in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have the talent, the private sector has the money, we can do it.
FNM leader Michael Pintard's also defending the target despite critics calling it overly ambitious.
For those who say that ambition is too big, we say your hope and confidence in our people is too small.
The promise bringing back memories of past FNM housing plans, including the Prospect Ridge development, which never materialized under the Minnis administration. But the FNM argues the current government's housing efforts are falling short. The Davis administration, however, pointing to active projects, including Vince Pin Meadows, where dozens of homes are nearing completion, along with ongoing work in Renaissance and Pinecrest. Still, the FNM is pushing additional incentives.
If you construct apartments for low and middle income renters, the FNM will reward you with a 10-year real property tax exemption.
FNM is going to make VAT rebates for first-time home buyers immediate and digital.
On cost of living, Pintard also signaling expanded value-added tax relief, arguing the government's current measures don't go far enough.
We do not believe that VAT should be on the variety of items that's healthy and good for our people. Not on the electricity, not on medication, not on feminine hygiene products or foods, healthy foods. We make that commitment to you.
Turning to Family Island challenges, the party says it has solutions to improve access to banking services.
If you have challenges with your government because your government left you in South and Central Andros with no banks, I just want you to know we're going to make sure you have a bank in South Andros.
The FNM also promising stronger legal protections for whistleblowers amid recent controversies involving government officials.
We will strengthen whistleblowing protections, including ensuring there is a single whistleblower hotline across all government activities, that whistleblowers have appropriate statutory protections.
And in a direct message to his team, Pintard warns that corruption will not be tolerated.
If any one of our colleagues decide that there is a cookie jar or two that they wish to put their hands in, I can't protect you. I ain't interested in protecting you.
Meanwhile, the governing Progressive Liberal Party maintained.
Okay, the 41 are ready to go. The F&M, better late than never, but they here and they ready. I can tell you the truth, George. I know you saw that little clip. I sent it to you. Make sure you get it. But I like what they were saying. This is the first time I have sat down and listened to the F&M. This is the first time, and I can tell you why. They wasn't talking about the PLP. That's the best thing I ever. You want a job? Tell me how you can do this job. Tell me why you want this job. Tell me if I give you this job, if you can do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I don't want to hear, but oh, well, you give George the job, so why you can't give me? I don't want to hear that. I don't need to hear that. I don't want to hear but menace. I don't want to hear but none of these things. I don't want to hear but brave. I want to hear if I give you this job, what you can do. And they had some nice little things they're going on, George. They wasn't bad. They wasn't bad. And I only say that because they wasn't talking about the PLP. So now I can sit down and soak it in and say, okay, that's what y'all want to do. Okay, I like that, especially the little. And I was just talking about this even with the banking system, in Bimini, they had to go open one bank. The government had to go open one bank in West End, right here in Grand Bahama. They ain't got nothing. And I just said, okay, and I can give these ideas out. Kingsley, an ATM. That's all you got to do. For God, give the people an ATM where they could go get their old pension money. They take them from NIB, whatever it is, they could go get their little money so they ain't got to drive all the way from Weston. Put one, and Quincy, for God's sake, put one in McLeanstown or at least in Hyra where the people ain't got to ride all the way from these places. This ain't hard. Don't tell me these things hard because they ain't. If me and you want to start an ATM business, all we got to do is go to the bank. This would be one do. We can put the money in, y'all can pay us back, and it's over with. I'm glad that they say, hey, oh yeah, y'all can do this in Mangrove Key, my hometown. Them, great. But they thinking. They finally thinking and saying they doing something for God's sake. Now I can say, okay, let me go get my little purple card out and I could think about it now. So listen now, let me hear what the PLP can do now. So what say ye about this, Joe? That's how I feel about it. What say ye?
Uh, I didn't listen like you did. Unfortunately, I saw a lot of red, a lot of dancing. Okay, so I'm glad. I'm gonna feedback. You said they said some good things.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be the Debbie Downer, but again, I'll close to this the election. Brave will call election in the next few weeks. We know it's close, right? And the problem with I find with elections and like most of everything in life, you there is a point where you run out of time, and you said they finally have the 41. That's troubling because you've been in opposition for almost 5 years. You know, election when you lost, you had 5 years to get this right, and we harp on this before. This message is supposed to be overwhelmingly, resoundingly. The only person I see on message since day one was Lincoln. Them, to be honest, they right whether you agree with their message, but they always have their message. They always saying this is our vision for the Bahamas. This is what we're trying to do and whatnot. So I think there are people or the people who had a time to really assess them and listen to what they have to say. F&M now, like you said, people probably just scratching up their little playbook, their little manifesto and stuff now to get out to you. I don't know if it's as seems as genuine, and I think and we also I think suffer from this problem in the Bahamas, and this might be part of why the opposition gets their candidates late. People don't want to be victimized. The government of the day, right? So a lot of people, I think, leave it to the last minute if they have ambitions or get convinced late to throw in their hat of the ring or to be publicly say, I support I'm going to run for the opposition, knowing that during that 5 years, if I run a business or what, I need to deal with the government, right? So I think a lot of people don't want to be seen as anti-government until the last minute when they feel okay. Yeah, let me go in there put something risk some of these things. But up until then, I think a lot of people want, hey, I need to go get my little permit, my little business license. I need to get my try and see if I can get some concessions, get this contract from government. So we ain't going out there. And so we might have to look at kind of changing that because I don't think we have a lot of those diehard politicians like yesteryear who they bleed one color. If the government is one way, because me is now will eat no matter who in power. So I'm glad they finally getting the message, and I do hope they have enough time to get these candidates out. Some people, especially the ones who were in before, I crazy them. People know them, right? But some of these new faces in particular, you worry about some of them because now they just introducing themselves. People just trying to figure out who you are, what you're about. And I think that association, I think even in the US, they seem to have a longer run with people who vying for certain positions. They seem to be campaigning longer or out there in the public. So a lot of these candidates, I've never seen like you just hear them flip a coin and flip, right? Whereas in some of those seats in Nassau and stuff, you've been hearing certain names working the ground and stuff for a couple of years, or they may have been unsuccessful before and tried to come again. So I'm happy they're on point. Like you said, I think that's ultimately you have to be an alternative for the status quo. If you want to remove the government, you have to show how you're gonna just not just that you want a job, but you're going to be better. That I'm going to give you something that you did not before. And like you said, in Grand Bahama, as always, we all we always skeptical because again, we the land of promises. We've been here in promises. So whoever come with any type of speech, you're looking at it like, I Pentar look like he getting a little better with speeches, but
Yeah.
and just listening to him, when he talk about the cookie jar, right? Oh man, I'm sorry, but ain't gonna really simply the best now because the only I say what a laugh was missing from that. Minister Ingram said, "Yeah, look at that cookie jar." He's not. You got people. So I think he's saying a lot, but again, boy, we had some. We love spoiled. We coming behind. I think Penland was a really good speaker when Penland come up. Penland was very animated, get everyone come from that movement with Jesse Jackson and all these things. So they were real good orators. Ingram had his own little style to it. Perry Christie was a speaker. Doc, yeah, mate.
Talk your head
you know,
off.
speak without conviction, and yeah,
Yeah.
you won't believe him, right? But um,
You know better.
I yeah, so I think I mean, the good thing for him is, great. I don't think Brave is the greatest speaker. He's a little shaky when he's speaking, but he's very likable. So there's a different contrast in style. I ultimately think we pick these parties or governments by the leadership. So the leaders really have to do a lot to pull their party. And you see that even in the U.S. I mean, Trump carry a lot of those Republicans, the government goes and falls with
Yep.
with those leaders, right? And so Penta is gonna have to become, again, even a greater in the short space of time. Need to speak more. He need to be more visible. Get people on the side because everybody is gonna need to piggyback off of him. And I do see some candidates in the FNM like, I don't know if I see from wall to wall. I'm enthusiastic about it, but there are some people you look at and you say, I'd like to see this person get in and see what they can do. But again, it's hard to do anything if you don't get the government.
My to do is I as I watched that their launch ratification of all 41 members, they finally did it. I enjoyed it because Michael Penn did it. Now, don't watch. I want you to watch the speech. He start off little. He start off a little educational. And when I say he start off a little booky. He start off. He will use these big words, and he would, hey, don't stop that. Don't talk to me.
Yeah,
I could see his problem is he like to make a speech.
yeah,
No, talk to me. And as he did his speech, he started talking to the people. Like you said, when he talked about the cookie jar, like you said, he put a little laugh in it, but you don't know if
yeah,
he's laugh or not, but that's not either here or there. But like he said, I can't help you, you're on your own. We
yeah,
have no problem with that. Talk to us. Don't write your speech down. I want to read it word per word per
no,
word. Talk to
no,
your people. And that's all we need to hear from you because you got it. You need to let it out. Stop worrying about being so politically correct and all these other stuff. Talk to your people. The Bahamian people are straight to the point people. All of us being educated, and even the educated said won't be ghetto now. So they want to hear all of that big words, and I got to get the thesaurus out. Oh, what did that mean? Oh, that's what he mean. Oh, we ain't want to hear that. But he did a good job in doing that. He's loosening up. He need to start like that and finish like that, and he can be all right. Sound like they got some good little plans going on. I'm waiting to hear now from the PLP because I know they can combat that. So now, if we got a good back to back, and oh, I wish we could have do debates. Why we can't do debates, George? Why these parties them scared of debates, man?
Well, you know why a lot of people aren't ready for that. A lot of people aren't
Then they
either
shouldn't
because
be in politics.
some lack the substance, and some just say, well,
And
unfortunately, you're right.
my,
Some should not be there.
My problem is a lot of people say, oh, I can vote for the man, I can vote for the woman, I can vote for the person. You don't know these people. And a debate would be a good way for me to get to know y'all because I can hear y'all talk. I can hear exactly what, not no little 3 second bite from
Yeah,
Zedness or
yeah.
from the newscast or whatever else. I want to hear from you. Let me hear when a question get asked to you, how you gonna respond when your person who you debating against throw one funny little word at you or say something about your ma? How you gonna respond to that? I need to
Yeah.
know who you are because if you write down your resume on this don't tell me nothing. That's why
No,
every
no,
job place is say, let me do an interview with you because I don't know who you is. Let me find out who you is.
and you're right with we need to hear you because I know some people would say, oh well, everybody speaker and everyone, but like you say, representing the constituency,
Yep. Uh-huh.
that's your primary role.
All
We
right.
sending
You
you there to be a voice, so you need to be somebody.
you gotta
You don't have
talk to
a
me.
voice. You don't have a voice. You need to sit down and let someone go with a voice and write for them, right? but but I agree. You can't be no door mouth. You have to be vocal. You have to be able to articulate to get out there, get in a room full of all these different MPs and be heard because you have some loud mouths in there. So you have to be able to get your voice up in that conversation if you're going to represent a constituency or represent the Bahamas.
How much times we gonna send someone to the House of Assembly and they 17,607. Hold on. If I know you couldn't count them, I wouldn't elect you in the first place. But I
Yep.
don't know these people, and they don't talk, and they depend on the leader to say and do everything for them. So this is where we are. So to say I can vote for the person, I don't know this unless I go into school which I used to work. I don't know you, so I can't say these things. I ain't voting for no person. I gotta vote for the leader, or you gotta vote for the party because I don't know what I get. Plain and simple
Yep.
as that.
Yep.
Plain and simple. So FDM ready, PLP ready. Let's see what can happen, George. This can be exciting. I ready to go. I ready to go. So let's take a quick commercial break and we can be right back.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jason.
And I'm Cheryl. Join us here on Superior Talk Bahamas YouTube channel every Tuesday at 6 for Let's Talk,
Where we talk about issues that matter to you. We try to come up with workable, practical solutions so we have more action and less talk.
See you on Tuesday.
The first resolution seeks the approval of this honorable House for the government to guarantee a borrowing of $200 million by Grand Bahama Energy Company Limited through a consortium of banks led by Standard Chartered Bank for the acquisition of all the ordinary voting shares of the Grand Bahama Power Company. The second resolution seeks the approval of this House for the government to guarantee a borrowing of $80 million from Royal Bank Bahamas Limited to assist with capital expenditure and working capital.
George, that was the Honorable Ginger Moxie in the House of Assembly tabling a bill actually for the acquisition of GB Power. They go into the House, say they need $280 million. 200 to buy it, 80 to keep it running.
Mm.
Why they like bother with grandmama? Why they like do things to us to make us feel like y'all care about us and see something about this GB Power thing and resonating with me too well. I 280 million George. We could have taken 30 to 50 million out of that and fixed the airport.
Mm.
Okay? We could have used another 20 million, another 50 million of that to keep the hotel working for them people who ain't got no job to keep them there. There are things that they could have done that keep the place running better than I can go buy GB Power. I don't even understand why they want to buy GB Power. What all of a sudden? Yeah, I know you was a little upset because you wasn't the regulators, but you're going to do the little thing with the Port Authority now. You can get that regulator part down pack. So you straight, you can regulate them. Why, as the government, you want own GB Power? And the question is now, when you own GB Power, will that become a subsidiary of BPL? Is that a separate company on its own? What's going on with these things that I would love to know that you so hard up and and check this out. You hard up at the last because you can ring the bell any minute now. Why
Yeah.
you hurry up, rush this to say, okay, I gotta go buy this just before election? Why you want to do this? It just questions up in the air, George. It just up in the air and I smell in the milk and something in this milk ain't clean, George. But what say ye?
That's the same thing he said. He made that announcement several weeks when they made the announcement, and people say, "It ain't so yet. We still talking or something."
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is yeah. So yeah. I don't like government owning no private much businesses, especially like you said. We know the history of the government, the track record of BPL, and the politics they play, and the blackouts and right. So like you said, why of all the people to take over GBBA, Grand Bomber Power, why the government? I don't like the government trying to get in more business, because like I said, one, you have to start thinking, well, where's the corruption in all of this? Because why you don't have your hands side enough being the government, like you said, your job. I rather you regulate. I rather you get good
Uh-huh.
and power people in there. But again, that's why it's this fight for Grand Bomber. But it makes you think again, because we all know how Grand Bomber suffered and and things down, and these governments can't seem to get it right. But when you see people trying to buy stock and buy things into something, uh, trying to take over, trying to do all these different things, but yet ain't nothing happening. Look like it almost looked like you punishing us. If you get it, they know how to get things going, but we ain't doing it long as you sell it to us. And it's a dangerous game. It doesn't leave a good taste in the residents of Grandma because it looked like, why would you be buying this if ain't no hotel coming, ain't no casino, ain't no right the airport. So look like you speculate, you got something on the whole. Hold on, boys. Don't we ain't doing that yet. Yeah, let's get this, let's get the power company first. Then so that's the only thing that makes sense, right? Because again, why would you want to come into the grandma? You just fought with the board, like you said. You ain't really sure who running things, who how because you still will have this problem with them if you get the power company now, but they still run free board and all the
Yep.
different, right? So why you trying to get into this fight? You just had this big fight with them, so you probably have more hostility, not not a willing partner in terms of. So I don't I don't think I particularly like it. And the next thing is they don't really explain to you. If you can't articulate, it's almost like the homeboy who started this war and can't tell you why we started the war, and they keep making up stories. Like, you know, if you can't sell your story, your project or this idea to the people beforehand, why this announcement, these secret deals, then we can tell you later. I don't like that. I like full transparency. That's a lot of money the government talking about spending. Like you said, what's the return on investment? Like you said, what's the likely? Is this a necessity? Is there something else we should be buying? Some stock and and something else? Why Grand Bahama Power Company?
They are saying that Grand Mama itself has the highest utility rates when it comes to power in the country.
Yeah.
And if you're the regulators, you could deal with that. You find ways to fix that. That's all
Yep.
you need to do. You don't
Yep.
need to own it. And see, people get mad and say, "Oh, the government, the Port Authority, and GB Power is almost the same thing. They regulating themselves." But and if government by GB Power, Urca run by the government, and they're regulating themselves, what
Mm-hmm.
what the difference is?
What's the
And,
difference? Yeah.
yeah, I with you now. What they want that they have to hurry up, rush this, get this in before the 9 hour, because what? Because what y'all want or what y'all see happening that the government gotta own this and do some
Gotta have it.
things. What? Because you could have do this in the second year. You could have do this in the
Yep.
third year. You could have do this
Yep.
in the fourth year. You wait till you holding the bell, getting ready to
Yep.
ring it to say, okay, I need to go to the House of Assembly. I need $280 million. Come get this to me so I can hurry up buy this, and then I can hurry up ring the bell.
And when we have other pressing problems, we need hotels, we need rooms, we need a lot more things, like you say, you can spend that money on.
$300 million. You know what you could do with that?
Yep.
You could buy anything state of the art, but only one, because I know how they go. When they say state of the art, that's for $300 million right there. I get scared when they say state of the art. Sometimes state of the art is just mean some sterling silver stuff. That don't even be nothing state of the
Yep.
art. But
Yep.
it cannot be to the point that we are sitting here with more demands. And I'm talking about Grand Bahama now. Airport, hotel, all type of things we need right now, and the GB Power is the priority on your list. I know what to say about that, George. I don't know, but we can see how this play out, and all we can do is hope for the best. So
Mm.
let's take a quick break, and we can be right back.
Yo, what's up, Bahamas? My name is Andrew Williams, aka Cat,
And I'm your boy Mix
and we're representing Off the Bench, the number one talk sportcast in the Bahamas.
in the world, my boy.
My bad, pardon I. So
Yeah.
we cover anything sports throughout the Bahamas. We cover our Bahamian athletes wherever they are, and they're making waves in sports. We cover them.
Hey, just tune in to us every Wednesday here on Superior Talk at 6 o'clock p.m.
The number one talk show
in the world.
in the world.
Craig.
Okay, George. I was reading in the newspaper. You know, we ain't got none, so it's other people's newspaper. But they did a recent poll. A recent poll was taken that they asked the people, who do you trust to take control or to win the next general election? 35% said the PLP, all the way. PLP, all the way. F&M got 18%. F&M, 18%. Victory, victory. I like that. I'm thinking what you would send me, but the captain, the ship
Thinking,
sinking.
well, only the real ones know about that, boys.
Captain, the seas are rough. I said, oh Lord, take me back. And 33%, 14% say COI. And this was the shocking part with this. 33% said they were undecided. 33%. A third of your people don't know who they want to vote for. That's crazy, George. This day and time, a third of your people don't know who they want to vote for. How in God's green earth? And I can't make no noise because I was one of them. I know I won't vote for. Y'all like come to me, but pick the less evil. I I still come to the point I pick an evil. I still can't get away from that. I don't want to pick evil. I try to get away from that. But 33% of the people, they know. What you say about that, George?
Well, that 33% should be a hard election because If I don't know who did the poll and now, there's a PLP poll or who, but if 33%, that put everybody in contention.
Yeah.
you have to you have your hands full, your job to do in trying to get your share of that 33%. It's a good problem to have, particularly if you're behind in
Yep.
this count. That means you can swing a lot of undecided voters to your side, so it's an opportunity. But I I think that's kind of reflective, probably more generally. Probably not limited to just the Bahamas, because again, this type of system where people are getting disfranchised or disillusioned or losing confidence in this two-party system. We vote one in, we vote one out, right? So a lot of those people, I think, are people who either were FNM and PLP, one on the X, but like, what's the point, right? Like, so they probably have a good idea who they want to vote for, but why vote if it's not? Why even bother get out of my house? I think these is who just want to stay home. Who a lot of people say, I don't even want to go bother myself to go vote, and it's sad because again, that means y'all can't even lie good no more to tell enough to make me think I getting something. Or they before time used to say people getting buyout. I mean, you're not even paying nobody to go vote at this point, right?
So,
And
so
so,
George, tell me something. Is it now that we are saying this 33%? You know, they like say, oh, if you ain't vote, then you ain't got no say. You got to take what you get.
right,
If a third of your registered voters are saying, I don't care, do what y'all want to do because no matter what y'all do, I still getting the messy end of the stick. Whether it
right,
be COI, FNM, PLP, this is what I am getting. There is no change coming in either one.
yeah,
Shouldn't the PLP, especially the PLP and the FNM, really sit down and say, boy, this is a serious thing? Because these people ain't on our run. And
yeah.
what we are doing can't even bring them to us. That's a serious thing when you can't attract new voters. That's a
They
serious
don't.
thing.
I don't think they. I don't think they care, right?
So
Because
just
at the
to
end of the day, yeah, whoever if
a
these
staunch
people don't
vote.
come out, yeah, I just need to get more of my people to come out.
Yeah,
That and a lot of times that's probably the people who on the gravy train. A lot of them have an interest in it because again, they have an incentive to vote. That means you have a lot of people who have no real incentive to get out. They're bad, put on their socks, because at the end of the day, I don't not feel that my life is going to be any better. I saw a quote, I think it was from Mia Motley or someone said, governments exist for poor people or something to that effect, to make sure that there's no poor people, right? Right, because there's a group of people in society that will always seem to need government, someone to be able to, to provide, to put things together, to look out for these people, right? And so I think a lot of the ones who are decided to vote, they either people who I know where I'm going to eat, right? I know I got to go and work hard. Some people have their skills, right? But you got you have a lot of these people who feel helpless and hopeless, and they feel, whatever, whoever wins, basically, I just have to hope for the best, and that's a bad state. And again, I see it as opportunities again, hopefully for the next wave of politicians, people who really want to be politicians. I think we need to get back to those politicians who really care about people and who really trying to help these groups of people who feel as if they don't need to vote, because obviously they have been forgotten. And like I said, the people who are out front, they really don't care about them. I don't think they care about that 33%. If the PLP have 33% now, and they think those 33% just gonna stay home, and we saw that in the by-election,
yeah.
well, we'll win anyway. So that's just less people we gotta help worry about feeding or going out our way for, right? Because they know once they reach out to those people as an expectation, right? Now I need to promise them job. I need to find something for, right? So they don't even really want to reach some of those people. And that's the sad part about it. You need to have people who actually care, because no way there should be at this point of the game, there should be 33 percent of people who feel hopeless or like I don't even know who to vote for by now. If the politicians are doing their jobs, right, you should not have that much people on the sidelines feeling like that. So I think it shows a failing um, that these parties are really failing, and it'll be interesting to see if the COI numbers look different from these third parties this time. Looks different from the third parties of yesteryear. If we see a serious inroad into that, I think in the UK now they got this third part, this guy who they say has a real chance. This third party now of taking government from the two established, right? And so I think that is there if you have the right message, if you have the right people, and obviously you need to have funding for these third parties.
Yep.
But I think with 33% undecided, this is the best time sound like to be a third party. Because now you actually have, like I said, with that poll you did, if they could get a size, they in play.
I was talking to my auntie them about it, that who these parties are. The PLP has always made themselves a party for the people. And not just the people, the poor people. They always try to make things a little racy. Yeah, well, you know, the white man and this and that. Back in the day they said they used to put on roots and things like that just before election, just to let y'all know, don't mess with them people, them UBB people, don't do that. They used to do some funny little things, but it used to work. They established themselves as a party for the poor people. They established themselves as a party for the Christian people. They established themselves as a people for the party for the black people.
Right.
F&M, if they smart, they got to find an identity. Usually your identity comes with your leader, not with the PLP. The PLP, no matter who it was, Penland, Christie, Brave, same thing, same identity. The F&M has lost their identity. And I want them to come talk to me. They tell me the PLP be into my door, but then I was in here. I could never catch them. But I want to have a conversation with them. Y'all need an identity. When in 1992, when y'all won government for the first time, y'all won it off of one theory. Let's get rid of Penland. Penland been here too long. He has done the country bad for the past 10 years. We got to get rid of him. And that was taught from the F&Ms, and they brought that to their children. And their children is the ones that made the difference, the new young voter. Our job was just to get rid of the PLP so someone else could have a chance. Wonderful thing. The whole country needed it. The whole country needed a new life. Okay. Now what? Now why should I vote for the F&M? Because the PLP still holding on to their poor people, black people, and they straight.
Right.
They ain't gonna never run from that. What is the F&M? Who are the F&M? Who y'all for? Because you know they got one thing going on there. Y'all is the next UBP. Y'all only for the rich people. They need to change their identity and how people perceive them, because you can't be Ingram no more. You can't every time bad time come, you got to call on Ingram, because the PLPs do that. Every time something happens, they call on Penland. And Penland dead. And I know long. You can't follow in that footsteps, because Ingram, everybody like Ingram. You like him, but if you sit back and look at some of the things Ingram do, boy, hold on. 20, 30 years after he do this helping us or hurting us? This could be a little problem here. Because we don't see what happened with the hotel. When they did that deal with Cantina Port, Hutchinson one Port, they say, well, hey, take the hotel and everything with it if you all want these things. And Hutchinson wasn't into no hotel. Okay, y'all giving me these other things where I ain't making money, but
They
I
wanted the ball.
I on the run with these things. And then when they get tired, they throw it away. Now we sitting up here 30 years later trying to figure out what we can do with this hotel. Can't give it away. So the F&M to me, needs to identify themselves as something. You're for the new young people. You're for the dead. You got to be for somebody, so the rest you could create your foundation to get bigger. Your staunch people got to grow bigger than what it is, because it ain't never get no bigger than the PLP one. One thing I can say with them PLPs, they always teach this to their children, and their children teach it to their children. And they can tell you, all of them can tell you the same story about what Pinland do for them. And that's their great grandmother. Oh, Pinland, give me this house. Pinland do this for me. The PLP do this and that. F&M people, what F&M do for anybody? They can't say, and believe it or not, in this day and time, because you ain't got enough people who work in it. See, the F&M is good for the middle class. But when your middle class shrinking, and your middle class turning into the poor, then I mean they get into the PLP. They looking for something. And I'm sorry you
Yeah.
got to give the people something. Hope ain't enough. I need some Blue Marlins. I need a job. And guess what? The PLP ain't scared to give you none of these things. How you want it, we can give it to you. And you can say what you want, say, but that's how it is. That's just my 5 cents on it. What say ye?
No, I agree. I mean, even in, like, I've been watching, like, in U.S. politics recently, right? Like, they always talk about the left and the right. So, and you could really see a big difference, particularly now, between the Republicans and the Democratic Party. Like, the Democratic Party was way, way, some people think too left, right? So that actually get them in trouble. But that's what Trump going on with the MAGA movement and make the Bahamas great, right? But you could definitely see the difference between them. And I don't know how much difference you could really see between the F&M and the PLP in terms of philosophy, other than, like you said, historically, people might say, hey, the PLP has been, they start off as a black party and whatnot, and they've been for the poor, and they've kind of maintained that reputation. I don't think F&M, the Bahamians, so I think they try as well, but you do have a party, um, often have a party that is more, I I wouldn't say more cookie jar, more deal makers. There's a little bit more deals to be met. They keep the economy going. Yeah. They get some more you know people. I won't be nice, right? Like they're in a strict in a selection process, and sometimes come back to bite them. But I think that has been the PLP, right? Like they got some people even in this cycle who people thought they should not have run again, and I think that even on the F&M side, for instance, like I call it, like, for instance, let me use Dwayne Sands for one. Dwayne Sands was Minister of Health, and during COVID, and he was removed, right? Like from because of indiscretion, but poor decision, whatever. He was removed from that. But yet, every time you see Pendad now, sounds right up there. And then they talking about minutes, but like, who give you the moral high ground to talk about minutes when, or you just mad because he remove you, but you was doing foolishness. You got to remove for a purpose. Why are you back up there in the limelight? So I don't know if Pindar has basically, created his own identity in terms of this is what this party stands, this is what the F&M stands for, because they should be able to articulate that clearly. There's the difference between us and the PLP, right? Not just that we want a job and we're gonna do it's gonna be business as usual. We coming in, but there should be clear um, lines as to what this party stands for, and in terms of people. In terms of the white and black, I think the PLP has as much white people in it now, and that's the next thing that
But the PLP start with a white person.
yeah, but they seem like they beat the F&M in their own game now. And the thing with white people, white people they in the business, right?
Yeah,
So the thing it is, if you have policies as a party that are not, business savvy and money is influent, everybody is there with you based on there's no certain loyalty to you. People trying to make money,
yep.
and so you need to show how you open this top money and make, right. And so I think the FNM has their work cut out for them, particularly in this election and moving forward. Because, like you said, you have to show a clear. When Ingram came in, like you said, that was a big switch and change. And, we were in that whole corruption thing and
Yep.
changing the image and whatever. So now it's like, okay, what? And I think people, Bahamians got used to new governments too, because, okay, I didn't get nothing last time. At least a new set of people come in. I can try my hand. You know, maybe I'm gonna eat. But now it seems now people like it's not like they settle to the table to the table. How does this other group get to the table? But it's gonna be an interesting election. I think this election should be one to really take your notepads out and see exactly what happened. Because I
Yep.
want to see where those 33% people go. I want to see who actually work. So I was watching one clip today, and they're saying how the PLP jumping up, celebrating, they dance, and someone's like, "What do you all celebrating for? The country settlement, right?" But I think they just celebrating the fact that they haven't them sleeping, like they
Yep.
ain't really ready. And then that you all did such a stellar job. Particularly in grandmama, like you say, you see anything to smile about? This is the same way y'all left it. Met it 5 years ago. They still
Yep.
ain't that right. So we'll be jumping up and dancing saying to give you another 5 years for.
The
So
the PLP in a mode. You ever see what the fella say? The lion was behind the two fellas, and he say, "Oh, you can't outrun the lion." He say, "He ain't trying to outrun the lion. He's trying to outrun you." And that's
they
all the
only have
PLP
done.
did.
That's all they're trying to do.
That's
We
all
just
they
need.
trying to do.
They don't even see the COI, so we just need to beat you all again.
Thank you. Anyway, let's take a commercial break, and we can be right back.
We believe with close to 300 names on it. I brought some of those names, Madam Speaker. I brought a list, Madam Speaker, with at least 74 names of persons who are being investigated, Madam Speaker, who have been issued fraudulently, Madam Speaker, passport. Eight of the names, Madam Speaker, we double check, 8 of the names are on the register. Eight of the names remain.
Of this policy is leading to the discovery of cases now being put before the police, persons are being charged, and persons are being investigated.
Prime Minister's Communications Director, Latre Raming, says the current administration is now left to clean up the damage as investigations into fraudulent passports continue and cases move toward prosecution. Chief Passport Officer Nicholas Simonet echoing those concerns, pointing to weaknesses created after policy changes made in 2019.
Over time, this weakened the office's capacity to conduct research, verification, verify identity, and citizenship claims, and apply the level of scrutiny necessary to protect the integrity of the passport system. Upon identifying these vulnerabilities, immediate corrective actions was taken.
The issue gaining fresh momentum after opposition leader Michael Pintard revealed in Parliament that more than 70 people were allegedly issued fraudulent passports between 2018 and 2024, tabling documents that sparked a heated exchange. But according to Simonet, that information did not come as a surprise.
Our list currently lists 98 cases. Based on the information I saw, which was tabled in the House of Assembly, it showed a list that from our office that said 74. The other documentation I saw was a list that he extracted from that list with 8, which is the same, so that's still 98.
Still,
George, the question of the day is, do we have a passport problem? Now, if I answer this, I can tell you no, we don't have a passport problem. We have a crooked Bahamian problem. The only way you could get a passport fraudulently if the Bahamians who run these government services give it to you. Meaning that I go to passport office. Well, let me break it down like this. If I remember what it was, I was getting something done, and they tell me I need an affidavit. We say affidavit, however you all want to say it. But I had to go to someone who know my grandmother. Now, my grandmother was 90 something years old. And sometimes the rules say that they got to be 10 years older than the person who you checking on.
Yeah.
Now, 91 plus 10 is 101. Now, I know how much 101 people you know. And even if you know them, what mindset they really in to say, okay, this affidavit, I can stamp this as JP or whatever else to get you clear and do this. But someone do it. Now, who's to say that a person from another country, they got X amount of money, they need a birth certificate. Now, in order to get a birth certificate, you gotta have, like they say, let's say I lost my birth certificate. You gotta go through that procedure. You gotta go say your affidavit. The JP gotta stamp it. Boom, bam, bam. You go back into the register general. They say, okay. They say this you what you name? You name John Road. Yes. I name you could barely. All they do is shaking their head because they can't even speak no English. But you was John Road. And I see one passport would say the fella name Gustav Sweeten. And I get very upset with that because that's my last name. And that fella did, for one, he didn't look like no Gustav. And he down sure didn't look like no Sweeten. The black side or the white side. But anyway, once you could go to the JP, get your affidavit, care to the Registrar General, they give you the birth certificate, say you were so and so because the JP say you were so and so. Then you get your birth certificate, you go get your driver's license. After you get your driver's license, you go get your passport. After you get your passport, now you could do whatever you want to do now. Now you go get your voter's card. So you got all the documents saying you was Bahamian. And how you
Yeah.
get all these documents? Only because now you gone through the right channels of people who don't mind saying, hey, I give you a little something on the side if you say you know John Baptiste for this amount of time. He ain't John Baptiste no more. And I hate this thing. Stop letting these people change their name. I mean, I guess you ought to say this the law, but come on, man. You can't be no Gustav Sweeten, man. Come on, man. Look at you. Where you from? Come on, man. But anyway, they now have passports. They now have the right now to say, okay, wherever I from, I can bring my children. And now they could get their papers. They could get their passport. All due to now these people who want to take. And that's from the JP, from the General Register, to the passport office, to immigration, and so on and so on. Us as a people got to stop selling out our birthright. That passport, that blue passport, that nice blue, that has plenty power. Plenty people want that. That ain't nothing you could just smile at and say, oh, this is just a book. No. That's you. That's who you are. That's who you are as a country. When you got all kind of people who just want to come in there and use you to get from A to B or do whatever else they want to do, that's a problem. And then when I come up with all these things, I'm like the clip said, they got 98 people who get fake passport. These people going through America, America looking at everything funny now. Hold on now. How much of these fake passports y'all got going on? I think we need to put a hold on these now because something in the milk ain't clear. Something ain't right. Where are we gonna stop? And I talking about my Bahamian people right now. I ain't saying PLP, I ain't saying FNM. I'm talking to my Bahamian people. Stop it. The little bit of change y'all making, it ain't worth it. And to all governments, let's update these things. For the fellow who live in a Iguana, who ain't never had no proper birth certificate. Because when he born, the house, the thing on wife, the midwife to him, and the midwife is Yanni. They do no documents and no paper to say who was who and what is what. Times the people come, the boy then 14, then they can start making out the birth certificate from there. Come on, man. Let's update these things, these procedures. Let's get everybody on one accord and let's stop selling out one another. That's my 5 cents. What say ye?
I, I don't know why y'all get so surprised at these things. You think my question is, you think the problem is better now, or worse, or better now? Because I think how you start is how you finish things. And I think this is a problem that's been going on in the Bahamas for many, many years. And it's probably a lot better now because they've gotten better passports. We've gotten the security. They're supposed to have all these high-tech passports now because of fraud, just like with money. Remember, they always keep updating money with counterfeit, putting in more things to make sure. So I think with the technology and stuff, I mean, mind you could get better copies and print
Yeah.
better things now, but in terms of the digital and machine readable and all these different things now, those are supposed to be features to help, weed out a lot of those things before time. Because I think back in the day, probably it's very easy, for someone to stay behind, print up some extra passports and sell. And to be honest, if you go back, and I don't think no one even want to touch that because to be honest, if they start going back and saying, listen, okay, everybody resubmit all your passport doc, we want to see your papers with land. Let's see your Grammy paper. Let's see your route. I think a lot of people will not pass in the Bahamas, and that'll be a bigger problem than this 98 because a lot of people got passports, got citizenship. Now they card carrying Bahamians today off of a lie. They were never Bahamians, some of them to begin with. And we know we had a lot of people come from the south, different places, and Asians have their own printing press, like they right. So I think it's good that they're dealing with it to know that there's still a problem, but I think this problem was a problem that has been overlooked. Not, they started doing that back in the day for people, and people were making money on it, and at least it highlights that some of these practices are still going on. But I actually think that number probably, if they being honest, there's a lot less fraud now than back in the day in terms of people voting and people doing things as the technology and everything supposedly have gotten better to detect these type of things. But it is a serious problem, and I think keep the spotlight on it. Prosecute. I always like to say we don't like to hold, depending on who it is, we don't like to throw the book at people, right? Like I like in the U.S. where they give you 60 years, 50 years.
That's
we
treason,
just
Judge. To me,
yeah,
that's treason.
yeah. But what we just do is slap on the wrist, give somebody 2 3 years, or someone go talk for them, and pastor them come. Oh, he's a goodie in the church, on the deacon board. They get on social service. I hate to say this as a lawyer, right? but but you ever watch what Jamie Foxx movie name? I forget what the name now, but I remember this guy, he killed these people, right? He went to court and he was unrepresented, and they did the bail application. And he's got up, yeah, she went to send him to jail, and he get up and start quoting some cases, and he said, under Article 2 and whatever. So the judge like, why? He got a good point. Like I don't think I can send him to jail. Dude, look, get up like, what kind of foolishness is? I get up, quote you some BS. You want to put me back? That's what's wrong with the system now, right?
Yep.
And to me, that's what's wrong with our system. Is like we find people, we've determined this is a sin or so and so. This is a criminal. But these people ain't criminal because they all right. Yeah, they still good people. They go to my church. Yeah, they got a bad passport. They do some crookedness, but hey, if it's 50 years, like you make an example of one or two people,
Yep.
and that's the only way we're gonna deal with the problem. And who get hit, get hit. You just have to write them off. But unless we're prepared to do that, and like you say, some of these names we probably gonna never know who all in that. It's easy to throw certain people and say, oh yeah, he so and so. These group of people got some fake passports, but how much of them there should be some surprises in that if they doing those things legitimately. And you need to hold these people before the court, find out exactly how they end. Let them start calling in, strike a deal.
Yep.
Who else? Right? Because now your children, your grandchildren, like you said, this could have far-reaching implications for a group of people. But are we prepared to do it? Right? Like you see America them bombing people and killing these schools, and like some countries are cold. They are cold to a fault. And I know Bahamians, we are a Christian nation. We just don't have it in our heart to really go um to that next level with certain things. But if you truly want to stamp out, some people are gonna get hurt. What Trump say with the Epstein? Let's tell the woman, hey, you know, some of his friends can get hurt. Don't push that out there. so, if we have a very transparent public thing and let the chips fall where they may, we have to be on board to say let the chips fall where they may, because I think this is a bigger problem, and I think it's wider than, because the first thing when you have some false passports, well, the people are thinking, some Asian people come in, but this thing goes a way deeper than that,
Yep.
right?
Yes, sir.
Way deeper than that. And I want you cast that net, cast it for everybody and who get catching it, deal with them appropriately. That's the only way the problem will be rectified.
I totally agree with you. Well, let's find out who our bongi of the day is. Uh, and our bongi of the day is George. All those people who do that was passport for them people. The JP, the General Register, the lawyers, the passport office, the immigration, the MPs, the cabinet members, all of them who doing this foolishness is my bongi of the day. Because I cannot see us still doing this day and time. The money what you get, you didn't spend that. But now
Yeah,
your country now is being they looking suspect.
yeah.
So
I don't think in a lot of cases, I don't think it's that many people involved in that process,
no,
right?
that's it. I agree with you there. That gotta be
Because
a closely knit thing.
yeah, because for instance, some of the JP them, you go to them, they tell you this shit and pounds don't match. This yes, so I think they bypass short circuit a lot of those things. There's
They know
somebody
who
at
to
the
go
top,
to. They know what shit
someone at
to
the
go
top
to.
who could sign off with the passport,
Oh yeah, they
right?
know.
Who could issue, who got the print press, who said, give my boy that, right?
Hmm.
Some money exchange on, and so
Yeah.
yeah, all the key persons. Even you might never catch everyone in the chain, but kill the head of the snake.
Hmm. Well, anyway, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We had a wonderful show. I want all y'all to know that we are now becoming a media station, meaning that we will soon be running 24/7 a day, a week. So you'll be able to get your latest music, and we'll have music from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. We'll have live events. We'll have podcasts, new podcasts, just as good as what's going on, and some even better. So join us soon directly. But while you're waiting for that, join us on Monday for Sword Sharpeners, Tuesday for Let's Talk and what's going on, Wednesday for Off the Bench, our sports podcast, Thursday for Island Dish. I want to thank all of y'all for joining us. Remember to like and subscribe. We can't do this without y'all. Thank you all for watching, and I want you to come back next week when me and George tell you what's going
That's
on.